I bet you're thinking this sounds too good to be true and won't work for me. I get it. Back when I was broke, sleeping on my parents' couch and checking my empty bank account daily, I felt the same crushing doubt. But what if your doubts are the only thing standing between you and financial freedom? In this video, I'll show you the 6-month system that changed everything for me, and more importantly, and why it will work for you too, regardless of your starting point. And wait until you see the surprising results that even skeptics couldn't ignore. You ever avoided looking at your bank account because you're scared of what you'll find? I did this for years until I realized something important. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. This might sound obvious, but most people are walking around completely blind to their financial reality. They're swiping cards, paying bills, and hoping everything works out somehow. Your financial transformation follows the classic hero's journey. It begins when you face the truth of your situation. When I finally checked my accounts after months of avoidance, I was shocked. $40,000 in debt with less than $100 in savings. That sobering moment became the compass for my entire financial journey, pointing me towards the path I needed to take. Month 1 of your 6-month plan focuses on getting honest with your numbers. Think about this as drawing your financial map. You need to know exactly what's coming in and going out. Start by identifying your core expenses: rent, utilities, food, and transportation. These form your financial baseline, the minimum amount needed for survival. The discoveries can be eye-opening. Most people I work with discover they're spending way more than they thought on things they don't even remember buying. One client found he was spending over $800 a month just on takeout food and coffee, money that could have been building his wealth instead of draining it. With your core expenses clearly mapped out, month 2 becomes about clearing obstacles from your path. You'll identify and eliminate non-essential spending that drains your account without adding value: forgotten subscriptions, convenience fees, and those small impulse purchases that accumulate quickly. Cutting expenses alone won't make you wealthy. It's simply clearing the grounds before building something meaningful. Think of it as preparing the soil before planting seeds that will eventually grow into wealth. Will your finances automatically transform in 6 months, or is this more financial hype? Yes, they will change, but only if you complete this crucial first mapping step. Without knowing your starting point, reaching your destination becomes impossible. The transformation begins when you stop avoiding your financial reality and start facing it directly. This mindset shift alone puts you ahead of 80% of people who never build wealth because they're too afraid to look at their numbers. By the end of month 2, you'll have freed up cash and mental space for what's ahead. You'll no longer waste energy worrying about money because you'll have a clear picture of your finances. The clarity you gain becomes confidence, the kind that comes from knowing exactly where you stand and where you're headed financially. The clarity you've gained in your finances is powerful, but here's the uncomfortable truth: no one ever saved their way to wealth. Month 3 is where everything transforms. Not by pinching more pennies, but by dramatically increasing what goes into your bank account. Think about it. You can only cut expenses so far, but your earning potential is unlimited. When I was earning $45,000 a year, I was doing everything right according to conventional wisdom. I tracked every dollar, packed lunches, and avoided unnecessary purchases. But the math simply didn't work for my wealth goals. I needed to triple my income, which seemed impossible until I had a breakthrough. Most financial advice fixates on spending less, while the wealthy focus on earning more. This insight transformed my finances, and month 3 is about implementing this shift in your life. It's like unlocking a new level of financial game. Suddenly, resources multiply instead of just being conserved. Here's what many don't realize: switching companies can boost your income by 30% overnight. I experienced this firsthand. While colleagues waited years for tiny 3% raises, I doubled my salary in 18 months by changing employers twice. Financial experts constantly confirm Job hopping creates significant income growth faster than internal promotions. Starting a side business creates even more powerful results. This doesn't need to be complicated. Consider what you're already enjoying doing. Photography skills, computer repair abilities, lawn mowing talents, or home project expertise can be monetized with minimal investment. I started my side business while working full-time, dedicating just a few hours on weekends. Within 3 months, it generated more income than my day job. Creating an LLC established legitimacy and opened doors to business funding and tax advantages I never knew existed. Your income will rarely exceed your personal development, as one wealth mentor told me. This mindset shift happens when you begin thinking like a business owner rather than an employee. You start seeing opportunities everywhere, realizing your earning potential isn't limited by hourly wages or annual salaries. Case studies show people increasing their income dramatically within just 60 to 90 days using these strategies. One client went from making $55,000 at her corporate job to earning over $8,000 monthly after launching her consulting business. Another negotiated a $27,000 salary increase by interviewing with competitors and leveraging those offers. By month 4, your increased income, we tackled debt strategically, targeting high interest debt that's costing you the most money. We'll use your new cash flow to eliminate these financial anchors while maintaining momentum on your income growth. These 2-month phase transformations your financial journey from defense to offense. Instead of just protecting what you have, you're actively building wealth. The confidence that comes from knowing you can generate income on demand changes everything. The confidence from knowing what you can generate income changes everything. But it's only half the battle. The real game changer happens when you stop working for money and create systems that make money work for you automatically. These final 2 months are where temporary success transforms into permanent wealth. Let me ask you something. When you get paid, do you consciously decide what to do with every dollar, or does that money just seem to disappear? This is the difference between those who build lasting wealth and who don't. In month 5 and 6, you'll create the systems that make wealth inevitable instead of accidental. Month 5 focuses entirely on investing in yourself, the most powerful investment you'll ever make. This strategy is backed by real numbers and personal experience. When I finally turned my finances around and had some extra cash, I faced a terrifying decision. With only $7,000 to my name, I decided to spend $5,000 on a real estate seminar. Everyone called me crazy, but that decision changed everything. The knowledge I gained returned over $400,000 in just my first year. That's an 8,000% return, something you simply won't find in stocks or crypto. The highest ROI always comes from developing your skills, knowledge, and network. Sometimes it's buying the right book, taking an online course, or attending events where you meet people already succeeding at what you want to do. When you invest in yourself, the knowledge becomes permanent and compounds over time. Unlike physical purchases that depreciate, personal development appreciates year after year. I've seen this with countless clients. One woman spent $1,000 on public speaking training and 6 months later landed a $20,000 speaking gig. Now she earns 6 figures annually from a skill she previously didn't have. Month 6 transforms all this progress into permanent wealth through automation. The wealthy understand that willpower is limited. Every manual financial decision drains your mental energy and increases the chance of poor choices. Think of automation like setting a smart thermostat for your finances. Once programmed, it maintains your financial climate without constant adjustments. Your bills get paid automatically, money moves into investments without thinking, and savings grow while you sleep. This creates psychological freedom that supercharges wealth building. Research shows people with automated finances report higher satisfaction and better outcomes. Modern tools can round up purchases to save spare change. analyze spending to optimize your budget, and remind you about upcoming bills to protect your credit score. The real power of automation is how it reduces cognitive load. Instead of wasting mental energy on routine tasks, you free up brain power for strategic wealth-building decisions. By month 6, your finances operate like a well-oiled machine. Money comes in, expenses get paid, debt decreases, and investments grow. All without your constant attention. This is true financial freedom. Let me tell you something most financial gurus won't admit. Becoming wealthy transforms who you are. 6 months from now, you'll hardly recognize the person who started this journey. I remember when I faced my own numbers, terrified but determined. Now I see opportunities where I once saw obstacles. The secret I've learned, helping thousands change their financial lives: consistency trumps intelligence. Focus beats being the smartest person in the room every time. I've witnessed average people build ordinary wealth simply by showing up daily. The choice is yours now. Open those accounts, face your numbers, and commit to the 6-month transformation. Your future self is waiting.